Welcome to the Self Concept Bestie podcast. I'm your host, Laura. I am recording this on a Thursday night, and if I'm being totally honest with you, I nearly didn't. I nearly gave myself a week off. My podcast goes live every Friday, but this week my energy's been a bit different. So I was at a retreat yesterday in Newcastle, and I would normally always record on a Wednesday, but I just realised that I wanted to create something not just for ticking a box. I wasn't just wanting to record the podcast just because I had to. I wanted it to be something worth saying. So here I am, late Thursday night, to get organised for you beautiful people to listen to it fresh tomorrow. So this week, I've actually attended 2 retreat sessions. Feel very, very grateful for being able to experience what I've experienced this week. It has been, it's been incredible. So on Sunday, I was away over the West Coast to Bridge of Weir, to this beautiful health hub for a full day. And you know, when you go to these things, what I love about them is you just don't know what to expect. Like, I had not a clue what I was walking into with any of these retreats I've been to today. I just never had a clue. But I sometimes love that. I love walking into that unknown, stepping myself out my comfort zone, not knowing who I'm going to meet, who's going to be there. So I rocked up myself, and see, just to be in that room with like-minded people, how the conversations are different. You know, it's not surface level stuff we're talking, we're getting into our mind and how our body works. So the first retreat, we started off in the morning with a full breathwork session. And if you have not tried breathwork, I highly recommend that you do. It is like a natural high. But not only that, it allows you to release like trauma, like you release any tension that you've got in your body. It really anchors in something. And I remember when I was in doing the breathing, it's almost like an outer body experience. Like my hands went all almost paralysed, and I was in, do you know what? I was in, took me like to Ibiza. I was in Ibiza on the beach, actually leading breathwork sessions. The sun was shining. I had a house there. It was so random, but it was just so beautiful. And my body, with my hands doing that, I just had to like breathe into it and trust that my body was letting go what it needed to. And eventually they relaxed, they calmed their way down, and obviously I came back into the room. And then we all headed downstairs out into this beautiful grassy area, and we had this beautiful healthy lunch. And then in this clinic, there is what they've got called the superhuman protocol. And they use red light therapy, oxygen therapy, and this pulse technology. And then they've also got these individual saunas. And to say I felt recharged. So in the morning, it was all about letting go. That breathwork session was all about letting go what no longer serves us. Connecting out on the grass, having these honest conversations with like other mums, and where are people in life, and actually what can our body do? Like, how can our bodies help us? That's what I took away. You know, that was a big takeaway for me, is what can my body do for me? What is it? How is it serving me? And how am I serving it? And there was actually something really, really stuck with me. The breathwork instructor said, if somebody handed you another body, like another person, like your best friend's body, and said, can you look after this for the next 30 years, please? And then she's going to get it back. You're going to look after it really well, aren't you? You're going to watch what you're putting into it, watch how you're treating it, how you're showing up every day. And we forget to do that to our own body. So then after the letting go, we then went into the recharging. So the red light, the sauna was just incredible because actually I learned that the sweat is like when all the toxins and stuff come out your body, like sweat is actually really, really good for you. And I learned a lot more about that than what I'd already known. And the pulse technology, I had it like round my neck, and one of my part of my arm was like totally twitching, and it was because there was like loads of tension in this part of the muscle. It was just incredible. And then I had this big oxygen mask on while on a treadmill, breathing in this pure oxygen, and it felt really weird. It was like quite quite not claustrophobic, but it was different. And I went and I sat outside just before the end, just a morning. I sat on the grass and I just thought to myself, I don't know if I'm ready to go home yet. And they asked, like, at the end, when we'd done a wee meditation before we left, they're like, what are you taking away from today? And I'm like, I just feel so much love around me in my life, in the room, being able to, like, just really be present. It was, honestly, it was just, yeah, it was incredible. It was. And then Wednesday, I was away down to Newcastle, a beautiful, beautiful human that I have met through belief coding. And I've only ever met her online. She was going to this retreat and she was like, do you want to come? And I thought, do you know what? Yeah, let's jump on the train and let's go. And this, wow. Like this is like, oh, again, you know, when you don't know what you're walking into, like I had no clue what I was going into. And we started off, it was these like beautiful big, this massive like TP tent. And we started off with yoga and then into a beautiful sound bath. Do you know that way where it's almost like you're just like almost falling asleep, how calm and zen you feel. And then when we went outside, we went and we sat in this like fire pit and got a cup of cacao and done a meditation. And then there was these like, it was almost, God, I can't remember where they were from, but just to kind of give you a visual, it was like, do you know, like an Indian kind of tribe almost, and it was like chanting. And they had this really cool musical instrument that I've never seen before. And it was all just about love and just being together. And it was something, you know what, it was so 70s, it was so happy, it was so, but it was just amazing. Do you know what way where there was, nobody was angry, there was nobody was annoyed, there was no moaning, there was no fear, it was just love. And it was like natural high, just being there with everybody. And right before the end, we headed into the woods. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on here? Like, we're heading into the woods. Like, and there was this man all the way from Peru who done this beautiful, oh God, what was it called that he done? Like, it was like a ceremony about the mountains and the earth and bringing in like your ancestors. And yeah, it was absolutely like he couldn't speak any English. There was like this woman there translating for him, and it was just to see that culture come in. Like I'm standing in this woods in the middle of like nowhere with this guy for Peru doing this beautiful ceremony about us appreciating our land. Yeah, it was such a unique experience, something that I don't know if I'll ever get to experience again. You know, it was phenomenal. It was so different. And I just realised that when you're in these places, the conversations are different, the way people speak to each other are different, and it actually made me realise that the people that you're surrounding yourself with are helping you grow. And it just feels normal, not like exceptional or extra. It's just normal. It's like that growth is there, it's natural, and people want to see you win. Everybody's there, they're leading in that love. There's no bitterness, there's no jealousy. It's about that, just that raw connection of being humans. And I kind of started to think about what that was teaching me, about how I was now showing up differently by being in these places, showing up for me, still sitting here recording this podcast, even when I'd left it a bit late, that I could have just thought, we'll have a week off. I thought, you know what? We often think that motivation comes first, that we have to stay motivated, we have to keep doing it. But actually, sometimes it's just about changing the rooms that you're in. It's about giving yourself that different perspective. It's about actually opening yourself up to these different experiences as well. Allowing yourself to be a little bit out of your comfort zone. Allowing yourself to be a little bit weird. And embracing it. Because all of the people around us, they influence our standards, they influence our beliefs, they influence what feels possible. When I was in these rooms, I was thinking that anything was possible. There was no fear there. There was nobody telling me that I was silly for looking at the more positive side of life. There was nobody holding me in a box. There was nobody restricting my mind and my outlook. Actually, it was being embraced. So it's actually about remembering what's available to you. Like, these experiences are there for you. You get to experience whatever it is that you want. You can have whatever it is that you want. It's there. It's ready for the taking. And I started realising that I'm really living a part of my life that I once was dreaming of. To feel this settled, to feel like I'm trusting myself more, that I'm always showing up for myself. Again, like tonight, still recording this podcast. And the tiny, consistent actions that I'm still showing that I am putting myself first. And I know this is really, really silly, but you know what else I've been doing this week? I've been doing handstands. Oh my God, and I know you're probably like, right, this has totally took a wrong turn here. But I've just been having this urge, right? Like, look at a wall in my living room, like, I fancy doing a handstand on that wall. And because I want to eventually be able to get into being able to do like headstands. And you know what, I've been doing it and just holding it for as long as possible. And it's actually, I feel like it's strengthening up all of my arms. I could feel it in my core. And it's just these small things about, you know what, I've had an inkling to do it. Let's do it. Let's see how it feels. And actually, it's been loads of fun. My kids have got involved, and it's something that's so daft. But before, maybe you'd be like, oh, that's a bit stupid. You're an adult, Laura. Why are you going to be doing handstands on a wall? But why the hell not? It's like I'll releasing this inner child in me to just have that fun. And again, when I've been at these retreats, that's what it is. It's that inner child coming out and just embracing different things, learning new things. We can always learn. Every day is a school day, I believe. So I believe that these retreats didn't, they've not gave me a new identity by any means. What they've done is they're reinforcing the identity that I'm creating. They're reminding me that I'm the one choosing my way of living. And where I want to choose that is by creating meaningful connections and rooms with people that allow me to expand, not be held down. Where I'm not looked at as some crazy person. And I'm okay with that, don't get me wrong. I'm okay with maybe being called woo-woo and crazy because you know what? I'm having a lot of fun. And for once, really enjoying life and having that content feeling, that happiness, that inner knowing, that building that trust up. It's pretty priceless, actually. And I even feel it in my voice when I'm speaking right now. Just how much more relaxed and, intentional I feel now. And you know, on these days where I've been at these retreats, the beautiful thing, I've not been like wanting to be on my phone. The only reason I took my phone out was to take some videos for some content for Instagram and TikTok. And I've stayed really, as I've posted them, but I've not been scrolling on social media. I've just not been doing it. There's just something has shifted. Yeah. It's almost just brought me a little bit more home to myself, more to the present moment. And there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about just, doing something for you. Because that's what these two things have been. They've been me stepping out my comfort zone, doing something that I've never done before, going places on my own, not knowing what to expect, but just going and embracing it anyway. If you ever get the opportunity to go and do something like that, or you feel called to do it, don't stop yourself because it's only you that's going. Because I promise you that when you get in these rooms, you'll find your people. If you feel called to do anything like that, you'll find your people there. Because I have not had a bad experience. Everybody is so kind, so welcoming, so loving. And it's in that room that you start to really see your own potential. Find out maybe where you've been holding yourself back. So I want to leave you a question. What room are you sitting in right now? Does it pull you towards the person you're becoming or towards the person you're trying to leave behind? Thank you so much for listening. And as always, today has already been an amazing day.